After making a video about America, I thought it was only right to follow that up with a video on America and their two best friends, Russia and of course their closest and dearest friend, Vietnam. So, Call of Duty is back, once again going back to the roots of boots on the ground killing some good old Russians, which is really all we want at the end of the day. Of course, this Call of Duty follows the same standard formula as most other COD games, hosting a campaign, multiplayer and a side game mode, which in this case is good old zombies. Yes, the campaign is back after they realised that thing that they had in their game for 15 years. You know, some people actually liked it. So how is it? Well, it's surprisingly decent. Overall, it has many hits and misses over a fairly short 4ish hours, but definitely delivers a fun enough experience to be worth playing. You'll be mainly playing as a silent protagonist, which you'll get to decide their name, gender and traits. So of course my top secret MI6 agent was called Baldy Baldman, with a classified gender. The story has you playing through Vietnam and Russia as a secret agent gathering information to try and find a Russian terrorist. The campaign has a lot more variety in missions than typical COD fashion, to the point that the game actually has optional dialogue that can actually change the outcome of some situations. It is minimal in most missions, but there are a few that fully utilise it and it can be pretty cool. Also, just a question, who the fuck was sitting there in their COD headquarters gunning down innocents and thought to themselves that the next evolution in Call of Duty gameplay was gonna be the addition of lockpicking? Fucking lockpicking! Since when was Call of Duty Skyrim? Holy shit! Jokes aside, the game does have you doing more things that aren't exactly, you know, shooting people, which can lead to some fun moments, but also some boring moments. Like, for fuck's sake, I'm playing COD, I didn't exactly want to be a professional photographer. The combat is actually quite fun, encounters are typically quick with interesting fine locations that constantly mix up the gameplay. Also, I've got to say, I love how stupid the added takedown mechanic is. You can run up to enemies, start a takedown animation and, well, I guess, take them down, as their teammates just stand there and watch you punch the living fuck out their lifelong best mate and do absolutely nothing about it. It's stupid, I know. But as an aggressive player, I fucking loved it. It was never not satisfying to partake in these visceral takedowns, even if I was grabbing guns off them that they, you know, definitely shouldn't have. Like, I don't remember the M1911 being a standard issue weapon for both the Viet Cong and Russians, but, you know, who am I to say? I'm just a bald MI6 agent. At no point did the combat feel like it was a drag, which is saying a lot considering it's a COD game. The longer downtime during missions, doing some less intense tasks like being a stealth motherfucker or, again, you know, lockpicking fucking doors, really do help build up the moments where you're gunning down absolutely everything in sight, making them a lot more enjoyable as you're not just killing absolutely everything in existence every 2 minutes. And the lack of sit here and defend this random area moments, that's a fucking blessing. And on top of that, the story is pretty interesting with some great characters, and the game even has alternative endings. Also, what the fuck happened to Woods? They fucking massacred my boy. They changed the voice actor and now it sounds like a guy trying to sound like Woods whilst needing a shit.
Yeah, then a lot of innocent people are gonna die.
Why did they do this to my man Woods? Overall, if you like Call of Duty campaigns, you're gonna fucking love this one because this is a good Call of Duty campaign. I think even if you don't, it's probably worth playing if you have picked up Call of Duty Cold War, as it can be really fun and a pretty cool story nonetheless. Right, with that out of the way, I'll jump onto the part which probably 90% of people are buying Call of Duty for, and it's the multiplayer. It's not the greatest, but I will say I still do find it much more enjoyable than last year's Call of Duty multiplayer. Firstly, you've got your standard smaller game modes that COD has had for years, like Domination, Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, you know, and all that shit. But I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the maps for these smaller game modes feel fucking terrible to play on, with most of the games just feeling more annoying than enjoyable. Yeah, there are a few decent maps like Miami and Satellite, but every other map made me want to grab the nearest nuke and shove that thing up my arse. They were so fucking annoying. The most fun I got out of the multiplayer was with the slightly larger scale game mode, which is a 12v12 game mode kinda reminiscent of Ground War on the larger Call of Duty 5 maps. It may just be a bias with me, that I like larger scale game modes due to my love of the Battlefield series, but for me, without a doubt, this is where the most fun is to be had with the multiplayer. Maps give you so much more freedom, providing so many more interesting and enjoyable engagements, with flanks actually being a tactic rather than just spawning behind the motherfuckers, all whilst keeping the quick and chaotic gameplay that COD is so well known for. But there's one slight downside to this game mode. How do I put this? There's only 3 fucking maps! And one of the maps is just a standard map that they added motorbikes and called it a fucking day. It really is a shame because these slightly larger game modes are really enjoyable, and I think with a bit more effort put into this game mode it could be really fucking good. And by the way, there's only 8 overall maps, which isn't a lot for a Battlefield game, never mind a Call of Duty. Progression, obviously another big aspect of the COD games, and yeah, it's pretty good here like always. Leveling up is satisfying and gaining new attachments is really enjoyable, with a pretty large amount of attachments in the game that can drastically change the performance of weapons, rewarding you for using guns that you enjoy. Plus, prestige's return, which, you know, I like that. Which, by the way, I love how Call of Duty is at the point where they will remove all their features of HUD in a game for years, and then add them back so people can be buzzing about old features that never needed to be removed in the first place. It's pretty fucking shite. Also, some people will be happy to hear that kill streaks have been majorly nerfed from previous Call of Duty games, to the point where military leaders think it's acceptable to fly out a military chopper to drop you a bow and arrow. What the fuck? What is this meant to do? No, even George of the Jungle would be scared of this thing. Overall, I think the multiplayer is just more underwhelming than anything. There are some decent additions and improvements, but it really doesn't have enough there to keep me coming back week after week to the multiplayer. Also, I just want to quickly touch on skill-based matchmaking and kill streaks, because there's a lot of stuff that I discussed in my impressions video that are pretty much the exact same now, and I really can't be arsed going all over it again. I'm a lazy shit. I'm not writing fucking another 500 words about this shit. Firstly, skill-based matchmaking shouldn't be in a casual game. It fucking sucks. They should have a ranked game mode for this and just separate the two. I don't want to be sweating off my arse every game of COD I play. And the kill streaks, you're pretty much always working towards them, racking up points. They work more like score streaks. They just really don't feel as rewarding to get, and you never really have that adrenaline rush that you get when you're getting these kill streaks. You know, your one kill off a chopper gunner. That shit used to be insanely fun and addicting. Now that's gone. Pretty much playing skill-based matchmaking just results to everyone jump shotting like they're fucking Jihadi John looking for his lost pubic hair. And zombies. That's a childhood favourite here. Zombies is alright. My expectations were pretty high with the horror-like zombies that they teased, which we do kinda get here, but most of the map is pretty forgettable and just boring compared to what we've seen before. It really just feels like a repurposed multiplayer map to suit zombies instead. But I will say the underground bunker is fucking phenomenal. Playing in complete darkness with zombies coming at you from all angles, whilst you've only got this puny little shitey flashlight, it is so fucking cool. It gets so intense and it is a really great experience. It's just a shame every other aspect of the map is pretty boring and forgettable. It's fun enough for a good few hours, but it really pales in comparison to some of the great zombies maps. I should also mention that you don't have specific characters for the mode, and it's just ported characters from the multiplayer, which is kinda shitty. I don't care about this fucking lassie or these geezers, right? They're fucking gimps, apart from Woods, previous Woods. Shut the fuck up. And you also get classes now, which you can like start with an AR and all that shit, but I don't know why it's here. I feel like it's just here to be like, here's a change rather than anything, because it really doesn't add anything to the experience. If anything, it takes away from the natural progression of guns that zombies typically delivers. And also, why the fuck is there health bars? They wanted to give it a more horror vibe, but they add more arcadey aspects. I just don't fucking get it. Also, if you do play it, don't use the fucking bow. The first time I used it, on round 20, which probably wasn't the greatest fucking idea, I nuked myself into oblivion. The bow is shite. Can you just fuck off, bow, and stop ruining my day? Overall, I think it's an alright game. It's definitely taking a hit from, you know, that slight pandemic thing and going back down to the 2-year cycle, and there's a lot of areas that just feel unfinished, and there's just not as much content as you'd expect in a Call of Duty game, and some of the maps just feel rushed and just not very good. The best aspects about this game are very far and few between. If you enjoy COD every year, you're probably going to like this game, and I do think the multiplayer experience is more enjoyable than Modern Warfare's from last year, but it still isn't great, and it's kind of a shame. I was expecting quite a lot with this Call of Duty, but I don't know. This game seemed like it had really great aspirations to make a better Call of Duty and actually add some new innovative elements, but it feels like it's really been bottlenecked by either this pandemic or just not fully committing to these new ideas of the 12v12s and some of the more out there aspects in the Call of Duty campaign. And even with the zombies having that horror vibe, if they went full into it, it could have been a really fucking cool experience, and probably making one of the most unique zombies maps we've ever had.
So I don't know, I'd probably say it's alright, I guess.